Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to the third annual State of the District. Really, the purpose of this evening is just to continue our regular communications with the dialogue with the community. This came out of the strategic planning from 3 years ago, so this is our third annual update. Tonight we'll talk a little bit about capital projects that were completed over the summer. We'll do an overview of our financial situation and our status, and then also academic achievements, and then academic initiatives moving forward. Quick overview, over the last couple of years, we've really dedicated ourselves to improving security in the building. Many of you are aware we improved our access to the building from the outside, putting in swipe cards, eliminating our outside keys, put in secured entrances for buzz-in entrance points during the school day. Over this past summer, we completed a key project, both the Central, East, and West, where all doors can be locked from the inside with the master key. What this allows, if a teacher is walking through the building, a lockdown is announced, they're able to grab any students, anyone nearby, bring themselves into a classroom, lock themselves in that room. In all the unfortunate violent incidents that have happened in schools, there have never been any fatalities where students have been locked in a secure area. So this was an initiative we thought was important and one that we were able to complete this summer. We purchased and installed over 320 new video cameras, security cameras throughout the district this summer at all three campuses. Certainly an upgrade to the coverage, both for prevention and then also for detection. We're very happy with the upgrade of those systems. Both at Central and East, we installed a new playing turf, football, soccer, available for the marching band, and then our spring sports also use that to condition and practice. Certainly an upgrade in utility and safety. In fact, we were so happy with these two that we will install a new turf at West this summer. What's interesting, we're the first schools in the Midwest to get this new system where a new turf is placed on top of the existing system. Saves about approximately $500,000 per field. So we were happy to be able to install these this last summer, and we'll do so this summer. Also resurfacing then of the track at Central and East. At Central, many of you are aware we've done a parking lot redesign and resurface. Everything is now one way coming across the front of the building. We've added a new parking lot, but maybe most importantly, added lights. Previous front of the building, Lincoln Way Central, very dark in the evening, added lights to support those additional parking spaces and that traffic in the front. New resurfaced tennis courts at West, and then brand new tennis courts at Lincoln Way Central. One of the questions we often get is, where's our enrollment? Where are we? How many students do we have? We continue to see a moderate decline in our enrollment. This past year, we dropped 125 students. We anticipate a drop of about 100 students this upcoming year. Now, we've said as long as we're at 6,000 students to 8,000 students, we are in a perfect place for 3 high schools. We know we can function very efficiently and effectively with 3 comprehensive high schools if we're anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000. We will see a moderate decrease until we get to around 6,600, and things should level off. We monitor our grade school enrollments each and every year to see and start to plan for what's ahead. Once again, here's just a historical curve. Now, with that being said, at 3 high schools, we're often asked, well, what are you going to do with North? What are we going to do with Lincoln Way North? Well, as we've discussed here recently, there has been interest expressed from the state of Illinois. Several state agencies have toured the building. We have provided the architects and engineers with the state the blueprints of the building. They're doing their own feasibility study to determine the cost and whether or not that would be an appropriate use for some of their organizations, whether it be emergency management services, the state police, natural resources, human services. Several agencies have walked through and they have expressed an interest. We'll continue to monitor that discussion as we move forward. If there's a proposal that is financially viable and would be a benefit to the community, I'm certain that it's something the board would consider as we move forward. All three schools this last year were named as exemplary by the state of Illinois, top 10%. And Dr. Murphy's going to talk a little bit more about that later in the slide show. Real quick on SAT and funding capacity. The Illinois State Board of Education, we talked a little bit about this last year, has come out with an adequacy formula. At 100% is where you should be to fully fund education as a high school per student. We are currently at 67% adequacy. What that means is we do not have the necessary means, whether it be state aid or property tax wealth, to function at 100%. Now, we're doing just fine. In fact, we are actually operating closer to 64 because we've been putting aside 3% each year. And as you can see on this chart, many schools in Will County are in the same situation we are in terms of funding, well below that adequacy number. The blue bar represents SAT score. So as you can see, we're doing quite well in comparison. Now if we take a look at other schools that were deemed exemplary by the state of Illinois, you can see that many districts are able to spend much, much more than we are. I think this is a good value. This illustrates that we are doing quite a bit with the resources that we have. In fact, according to our last audit, we are the lowest spending high school district in the Collier counties in Chicagoland. We are the 20th lowest spending high school district in the state of Illinois. And I think that's significant, particularly when you look at our success in both academics and extracurricular areas. And now, Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you. I'm Brad Kaufman, Director of Finance. From 2010 to 2016, the district deficit spending reached just over $41 million. However, in this last 3 years, the district has been able to achieve just over $15 million cumulative resource, and we have replenished 37% of the funds that were spent. For fiscal year 2020, the Board of Education approved a budget with a surplus of $5.9 million, which will bring the recovery of funds to just over 51% in 4 years. For the operating funds, which are all funds except for debt service and capital projects, the district achieved a $19.14 million combined surplus over the last 3 years. After multiple years of deficit spending, the district hit a low point of ending fund balance of just $8.1 million in fiscal year 16. The district ended fiscal year 19 with an overall fund balance of $23.4 million, or an 89% increase. The Board of Education has set a goal to achieve a 33% operating fund balance to expenditure ratio. By achieving this goal, the district will increase its financial health, bond rating, and eliminate the need for cash flow borrowing. As this chart shows, for fiscal year 16, the operating fund balance to expenditure ratio was actually negative 5.96%. To achieve this goal, the Board of Education has adopted an implementation plan that requires the district to run a 3% operating surplus each year. The district has been able to exceed this goal in the last 3 fiscal years and should achieve this goal of 33% by 2024. The state of Illinois ranked school districts on 5 key indicators and assigned each of them a financial profile score. These rankings are financial recognition, review, early warning, and watch. This graph charts the district's last 15-year financial profile scores, in which the district has gone from review status, clear to watch status, and now we are officially back to review status. Another way to measure a district's financial health is by its bond rating. 2 of the largest bond rating agencies are Moody's and Standard & Poor's, which rating scales are listed here on the screen. Prior to July 2014, the district's bond rating was AA2, investment high-grade bonds. By December 2016, the district's bond rating had fallen to BA1, junk speculative bond status. In August of 2019, the district received its first upgrade to BAA3 investment low medium grade bonds. Then in this December, the district received another upgrade to BAA2. While we still have a long way to go, receiving 2 bond upgrades in 1 year is amazing progress. The district is on the right path to returning back to a AA bond rating in the near future. Now, Brian.
Good evening. I'm Brian Murphy. I'm the Director of Data Assessment and Innovation. And tonight, as Dr. Tingle mentioned, I'm going to be sharing some information with regards to our school report card. As earlier mentioned, all 3 of our high schools have earned an exemplary status. This information tonight is going to highlight some of the pieces that earned us that designation. Designations are composed of many components, but can be summarized into 2 main categories. Academic, which composes 75% of the score, made up from proficiency in the science, ELA, and math proficiency, and the graduation rate. The other 25% is composed of school quality and student success, focusing on areas such as chronic absenteeism and 9th grade on track. This designation of exemplary really puts all 3 of our high schools in an elite group. Only 10% of the high schools in the state of Illinois have earned this designation. Our task will be to continue to strive for this designation year after year. One way that we can accomplish this is by truly understanding the measures that influence these scores that make up the designation. As we dive deeper into the various categories, we're able to make some connections. The first is graduation rate as compared to 9th grade on track. Currently, all 3 of our high schools are at 95% for both graduation rate and 9th grade on track. To be considered on track, students cannot fail more than 1 semester of a core curricular class. Knowing this information allows us to identify those students that are potentially off track early and in an effort to help keep them stay on track. The ultimate goal is to have a graduation rate that is equal to or greater than our freshman on track rate. And we are right there. Another comparison is that of the overall SAT as compared to absenteeism. As Dr. Tingley mentioned earlier, our SAT scores are the top in Will County and are among the best in our collar counties. Compared to our absenteeism rate, compare that to our absenteeism rate. Absenteeism is defined as students or staff that have missed more than 10% of the school year. As you can see, the absenteeism rate for both students and teachers is the lowest in Will County. As a result, you might be able to see a connection between a low absenteeism rate and success on a standardized assessment. Speaking of test scores. In the spring of 2019, the state of Illinois for the first time mandated that all high schools give the PSAT 9 to freshmen, the PSAT 10 to sophomores, and the SAT to juniors. The benefit of giving this assessment to each grade level is to be able to monitor growth and address areas in which we can improve. We also have a unique relationship with our feeder districts in which they proctor the PSAT 8 for all 8th graders in the fall of their 8th grade year. This allows us not only to place the students in appropriate courses, but it gives us a baseline that we can use to measure growth. As we continue to monitor growth, we use the College Board's suggested growth targets each year. College Board suggests from one assessment to the next, a student should grow from anywhere from 50 to 60 points. As you can see above, our class of 2020 grew by 49 from the fall of their the fall of the junior year to the spring of their junior year. So we will be using this information to watch the growth for our current juniors, the class of 2021, as they prepare for the SAT in April. While the next topic is not truly reflected in the summative designations, it's an area in which we continue to see growth in student success. Our AP programming has over 80 teachers teaching nearly 2,400 students in 26 different courses. That equates to approximately 6,000 different enrollments. What that means is overall, students participating in an AP program are on average enrolled in 2 or more AP courses. The benefit of participating in one of these courses is the potential to earn AP credit, which translates into college credit if they score a 3, 4, or 5 on the corresponding exam. This past spring, we had over 4,000 exams given. Success for the AP program, again, is recognized as earning the 3, 4, or 5 on the AP exam. As you can see here, there were more than 2,800 students, about 68% of the students who took the test, that passed and earned that 3, 4, or 5. Here we see that these opportunities are not just for upperclassmen. In fact, for 2019, we introduced AP Human Geography for our freshmen. The chart here shows the percentage of students that have earned 3 or better on an AP exam during their time here at Lincoln Way. The trend that we see here is that by the time we get to looking at our seniors, just over 40% of our student body has earned a 3 or better on at least one AP exam. College Board also recognizes students who are considered AP scholars at a variety of levels. The lowest recognition is for those who have passed 3 or more AP exams. There are a number of other levels of distinction, but altogether, here at Lincoln Way, over 1,900 students have passed 3 or more exams by the end of last year. Now that we have celebrated successes, the question remains, what is next and what are we going to do with all of this data? We need to continue to work to meet and exceed the accomplishments of the past as we continue to move forward. One area that we've identified at the district level is in the area of our curriculum. With the help from our teachers and our building leaders, we'll focus some attention on our special education curriculum. We want to ensure that all of our students are being exposed to the quality curriculum that's been created in every core area. So our math, English, science, and social science teachers and department chairs are working together to make sure that we make any adjustments necessary to meet the needs for our students. Each of our schools is unique, and thus the information obtained from the school report cards is also unique. We asked our building leaders to identify some areas in which they were going to focus some extra attention for the 1920 school year. At Lincoln Way Central, some extra attention is going to be focused on preparing our students with a 504 or an IEP for the SAT. Along with that, they'll be working with students to participate and complete the 5 Essentials survey. At Lincoln Way East, we noticed some achievement gaps among a couple of our subgroups of students. Leaders at East have identified those students and are working with them to close those gaps. As we talked about earlier, a student's presence in school is a key factor in student success. The leaders at Lincoln Way East are looking to find ways to encourage students to be present more than 90% of the school year. Lincoln Way West will focus on the science proficiency assessment, working with all levels to increase the percentage of students that meet the expectations set forth by the state of Illinois. In addition, the leaders at West have identified those students who are at risk of not being on track and are working with them through a variety of interventions. To sum it up, all 3 of our high schools have been very successful this past year. Our challenge will continue to be to maintain the level of success as we move from year to year. And now Dr. Perry.
Good evening. From data and assessment to curriculum and instruction. I'm Amy Ferry, Director of Curriculum Instruction, with tonight's update. One of our areas of emphasis continues to be college and career readiness. One of the major projects that we've accomplished this past year was the creation of departmental college and career pathways on our website. Each interactive pathway provides students and parents with a guide for what potential careers are associated with their interests, in this case, business in blue, or science in green, and when the buttons on the pathways are clicked, students and parents are redirected to the National Career Cluster for even further information. Additionally, the pathway provides information on what courses at Lincoln Way a student could and should take to pursue this career pathway. Then, in order to learn more about these courses, students can now access our course catalog on our website as well, taking them to each department to see a visual representation of all courses offered in that department, and when any given course is clicked, a full course description is provided as well. Also related to college and career readiness is a series of events related to career opportunities in our local trades and unions. In September, a representative from Cisco spoke with our students, introducing them to the variety of career paths in the various trades. On October 30th, we held our 2nd annual career fair, nearly doubling the number of organizations represented from the previous year, and we had over 300 Lincoln Way students in attendance. In May, we plan to hold a workshop that will very specifically show students how and when to apply for and prepare for careers in the various trades and unions. Course registration for the 2021 school year has begun, and we are very proud to offer several new courses related to college and career readiness. First is our teaching internship course, a dual credit course with the University of St. Francis for seniors interested in education, complete with hands-on experiences in the field with K-6 educators from our participating feeder districts. Also new for 2021 is Microsoft Office Applications, a dual credit course with JJC, their Computer Information Systems 126. This course updates and replaces our previous keyboarding and technology course. Also in conjunction with JJC is our new Career Ready Math course, Lincoln Way's second transitional math course as a fourth-year option that with a grade of C or better results in at least a 100 level placement in college. Another new course for 2021 is AP Physics C Mechanics, and in addition to our current AP Physics 1-2 course, this will make 27, and this new AP Physics course is more specifically targeted to our future engineering students. And finally, our last new course for next school year is American Music, a non-performance-based music survey course offered through our music department, also earning dual credit as JJC's Music 102. This one-semester course can often fulfill a future college student's fine arts graduation requirement. Not a new course, but new to dual credit for next year will be Welding 3, making both Welding 2 and 3 dual credit with JJC. And also new to dual credit will be Vocational Auto, which will be offered as JJC's Automotive Service 106. Both of these dual credit opportunities are made possible due to the extra credentialing of our teachers who were willing to put in the extra time to make this happen for our students. In addition to new courses, we also have some curricular changes as well. Back in March, the method by which we calculate grade point averages changed from a multiplier system to a weighted system, whereby any AP or honors course grade will be given an additional 1 point at a C+ or a C- grade or better, as shown here. Our current seniors are still under the multiplier system as they had already begun the college application process, while our current freshman, sophomore, and junior students were all transitioned to the new weighted system this past spring semester to take advantage of this updated method. The primary reason for this change was to better align our grade point average system with what is expected and preferred by colleges and universities. Starting this school year, another curricular change will be the exemption from a final exam for any student enrolled in an AP course who elects to take the AP exam in that course. In this manner, students will not be double tested and can focus on their other final exams, while teachers can make more productive and creative use of that time with their students after the AP exam, rather than prepping them for yet another exam only 2 weeks later. This exemption is effective immediately. And starting with the incoming class of 2024, students with a reading score of 30 on the PSAT, or students who qualify for and enroll in both English honors and world history and geography honors will be exempt from the freshman reading seminar graduation requirement. Also under the umbrella of curriculum and instruction is professional development. We are proud to have a teaching staff that takes advantage of the numerous in-house professional development opportunities provided throughout the year, starting with summer workshops, continuing through the year with before-school opportunities, as well as lunch and learns and institute days. In addition to our robust in-house professional development program, we also send our staff to a variety of outside conferences and workshops as well. Before I conclude, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the other major area within curriculum and instruction, social emotional learning. After a district-wide departmental implementation of the social emotional learning standards into our daily curriculum, we have also ramped up what our asset coordinators do by aligning the Search Institute's 40 assets with the state's social emotional learning standards and bringing these social emotional concepts to our students in a variety of presentations and programs, many times in conjunction with our PPS departments. Just a few examples include kindness and wellness weeks, anti-bullying and suicide awareness, see something, say something, and hats, not hate. No curricular academic program can ever be successful without the social emotional health of our students. Thank you.
And in closing, a couple highlights. Last February, Lincoln Way East brought home another state championship in cheer, with all 3 Lincoln Ways making it to the final day of competition, first time in the district history. This past fall, Lincoln Way East completed an undefeated football season and brought home the state championship. Once again, our marching band brought home the grand champion from the state of Illinois competition at Illinois State, and this next fall they will be marching in Macy's. You can continue to follow Lincoln Way on social media. And to wrap things up, we've accomplished quite a bit this last year. I want to provide special thanks to our school board, who has provided guidance and oversight throughout this financial recovery and yet maintaining a very high academic standard. They've done a fantastic job. Our teachers and administrators have continued to maintain the standards of excellence in the classroom, but at the end of the day, we have outstanding students. Our students compete in the classroom, they compete on the fields, they're fantastic in their extracurriculars, and they're fine young adults, and it's really encouraging to see their growth over their 4 years at Lincoln Way. I find myself fortunate to work and live and raise my children in such a fine and supportive community. Thank you for your continued support of Lincoln Way District 210.